Hey, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be designing the mounts for the new airlines. I'll be doing that in Fusion 360. And these will hold the new brake lines in place because the new brake lines are hoses instead of pipes. So they need to have a bit of extra support. What I'll be using is I'll use these threaded inserts that I will press into the plastic of the new mounts, and then they get bolted to the axle, so they will stay in place. So let's get started. We'll start by creating a new sketch from the top. I'll make it 12 centimeters wide and 4 centimeters long or deep, however you want to call it. I know that each hose has a diameter of 70 millimeters, so 1.7 centimeters. So that we will draw that later. But first we need to have a hole where you can put the screw through that will mount it to the axle. So we will do that in the middle right here. I think this is the center point, yes. And then we have the center point there. And then I will say 8.5 because it's an M8 bolt, so it's 8 millimeters. And then I just add a bit of half a millimeter extra, so it has a bit of room to go down. So that's our top view. So we extend this up for 3 centimeters, I would say, like so, 3 centimeters. And now we go to the front view, and we say create a new sketch again from the front this time. And we take our circular tool, and we will say 17. And we do the same again on the side, 17. I'll move this one over a bit, or rather I'll move this one over one, because we need to create holes in here to bolt it together as well. So then we take the same here, which will be here, I assume, yes. And then we take this one here, and that one. So now both sides are the same. And these will be the holes for the airlines. So if we just do it like this, and we say extrude, and we select all of these, minus 17, no, minus 40, 4 centimeters, I'm sorry, like so. And now we have the holes to mount the hoses. But these edges will be quite sharp, so I will select them, and I will round them over so they are not that sharp. So I'll say 2 millimeters for rounding. So now we actually have a working prototype. Something that we need to do now is we need to add holes on the top and on the bottom for the threaded inserts and the bolts to keep this together, because we will be cutting it in half. We'll be cutting it in half because the airlines that I have already have connectors on them, so they will not fit through the hole right now. But then once it's screwed together, the hoses will fit nice and snug in them and will not move that much. So now we can say we will build another sketch on the bottom. We make it the same size, about the same size, and this one we only say go for 15 millimeters, so half the height, because we made it 3 centimeters high. And then what we can do is we can say split the body, and it will be this body. I will select the tool that will be this one. I will say OK. And now we can remove the other body, like so. And now, as you can see, we have the model that's split. So I can say body 3, and I can move it over, like so. And then we will flip it 180. Oh, I will just keep it like this for now. And we will just put it down. Oh, this one. Like so. So now we have two sides. Next we'll create a new sketch on the top here. And we'll create another hole here, right here, which will be 5.5 millimeters. I'll put an M5 bolt in there. And I'll do the same on the other side. 5.5. Finish sketch. And these holes will go all the way through, because that's where the bolt will go all the way through. So we'll do this, and we'll say -15. So now we have the holes on the top right there. So then we have the top part done. And what we can do is, just to make it a bit nicer, select these edges as well. I will just only select the side ones first. And then if we say round this one, and we can say we round it with like 5 millimeters. Yes. So, and the top one, we can say round it with 2 millimeters, the same as the holes. So yeah, now we have a nice area where it can screw into. But now we need to create the holes in here where the threaded inserts will go. And when I measured the inserts, they are 7 millimeters in width. But I want to have something that they will bite into. So what I will do is I will create them 6.5 millimeters wide. So I'll create a new sketch here. I'll get this one, and on the same line I'll say 6.5. Like so. And then we'll say the same here, 6.5. Like so. Then you can say finish sketch. And what I want to do is I want these ones, we can also just make them all the way through, -15, because then if water will come in, it has a place to go out. If we don't do that, it might collect water, so that's a better idea. So they are also all the way through, but they are bigger than the holes where the bolts will go into, because I need to put a bigger thing in there. So this is basically how the holder will look. So what I will do is I will print this out and see how it fits. So I'll just print out 1/2 and see if the threaded inserts fit correctly, and see if it sticks too much out on the axle. Because then I need to make it smaller, or maybe move this one over to this side and make this side less wide, because this will bolt to the axle right here, and then on the right side here you have the part that will move up and down if the tire hits a curb or goes over a speed bump. So then the tire will go up here. so I don't want to hit it on the bottom right here. One thing that we can do as well that we added there was to add the rounded corners to it as well. So it's like this, and we say 5 millimeters. So, and then on the bottom, actually on the bottom we'll just leave it, I think. Or no, we just go for consistency. So we just say this one, this one, this one, and this one, and we say this one, and we say 2 millimeters. 2, like so. All right, so now I'll do a test print. The test print will not be the material that we will use for real, but I'll just call it brake line holder. Save it, and what I will do is I will create multiple of these, but in not as wide as these ones, and then we can mount those on the lines in between as well. But this one I want it to be a bit wider and have a bit more support when we are mounting it to the axle. Okay, so these are the prototypes. The real color will be blue because I want everything with the air system to be blue. But this is how they came out of the 3D printer. The middle hole will be to bolt it to the chassis or the axle, and then this is the top part. And then here we have the bottom part, and as you can see, it has inserts in there, and those inserts will make it possible that these bolts, they can screw in. So yeah, so I can grab some hose, put them in here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, like so. Now you put this one on top, and we screw it down. So this doesn't have to be very tight, but just to keep it together. The same on the other side. Like so. And now it's keeping the lines in place. So yeah, it's still a bit loose because you can like move the lines in between. But it is a very solid piece holding it together. And at the bottom the holes are open so it can drain water if it comes in there. So yeah, what I want to do now is I want to check on the axle if the right side is not sticking out too much, because the axles will come up and I don't want it to hit this and like force it off. If that's the case, then I need to move this hole to here and then move this line to that side so that it's a bit more balanced. So yeah, so that's the part that we designed on the computer, and this is how it looks. I will make a few changes to the design, so I'll make the holes for the hoses like a tiny bit narrower so it holds the hoses better, I think. But on the other hand, it's nice to be able to move it around the hose, so I need to think about that. But what I want to do is make some alignment pins here and here, so that, or in the middle here, so that these pieces are easier to line up together. So yeah, so that's the real thing that I want to do. So now let's test if it will fit onto the axle. Okay, so now it's bolted. The bolt is a bit too long, I think, but yeah, it fits, as you can see. It does take a bit out on the left here, but it's not the part that is moving up, so it's still in before the first bump there. So I think this is a very good approach to tighten it. The only thing I need to check is this line that goes to this line that goes over there is a bit in the way, so maybe I can bend it a bit or something to make it fit better. But yeah, but I think this design is definitely worth a shot. So this plastic is called PLA, and that's not the type of plastic I want to use. PLA gets quite brittle outdoors and is not that good with UV. So these ones will be made out of a plastic called PATG, and that is more tolerant to temperature change and is a bit more flexible. PLA gets a bit brittle. So yeah, so that will be the new part right there. Thank you for watching. I didn't record an outro for this video, so I'll do it this way. In the next video we'll be installing the new brake lines, and we'll be installing these 3D printed parts. So yeah, see you in the next video.